Hello everyone and welcome to my General Hospital Today channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before we begin, please hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. The General Hospital recap for Thursday, April 17th, reveals that Sonny Corinthos made a sacrifice while trapped Molly Lansing Davis found a hero. Giovanni Gio Palmieri also had a hint for Lulu Spencer. So here's how Thursday's General Hospital drama unfolded. Cody Bell noticed Molly's flat tire on a road near the Quartermain estate while riding his horse. Although Cody attempted to change the tire for Molly, the spare had a hole in it and could not be used. Cody suggested a backup plan and persuaded Molly to join him on the horse, so they had a close, awkward ride. At the Quartermain house, Harrison Chase discussed his wish to become a father with Brooke Lynn Quartermain, and they agreed that adoption was the best option. Brooke Lynn and Chase considered having a baby, but they were also willing to adopt an older child. As Jordan Ashford packed her belongings in the deputy mayor's office, Curtis Ashford stopped by to inquire about the true reason for her resignation. Curtis refused to believe that this was simply Jordan and Laura Collins' disagreement over Sonny. Curtis had only seen Jordan act like this before while undercover, so he demanded an explanation. Jordan did not want to lie to Curtis again and jeopardize their friendship, so she persuaded him to back off. Curtis finally agreed to protect Jordan's privacy in this matter, but he encouraged her to contact him if she needed assistance. Dante Falconeri's birthday party was hosted by Sonny at his home. Dante could sense something was hurting Rocco Falconeri, so he encouraged his son to open up while they were outside. Rocco stated he had been watching the press conference backlash and all the negative remarks about Laura Collins linked to Sonny. Since Rocco saw himself as the link between them, he felt responsible and was concerned about Sonny attending his debate when Laura was expected. Sonny overheard Rocco's concerns and informed his grandson that he would only check the video Dante had made of the event later. Olivia Quartermain became enraged when she discovered Sonny's refusal to attend Rocco's debate because he said that business was interfering. Dante privately proposed that they tell Olivia the truth, but Sonny preferred to focus the pressure on him rather than Rocco. Lulu Gio, Christina Corinthos Davis, Donna Corinthos, Danny Morgan, and Lois Chirulo were also present during Dante's birthday party. Gio ended up talking about his mother's travels leading up to his birth, making Lois appear uncomfortable as she attempted to steer the discussion. Lulu learned that Joe's mother allegedly went into labor at a concert and delivered him in Los Angeles. Lucas Jones discovered Marco Rios was Jen Sidwell's son in the law office, but Marco insisted on not lying once Alexis Davis joined the conversation. Lucas took off, while Alexis remarked that Marco continued to deceive by omission. Marco, on the other hand, maintained that Alexis did not use the Cassidy name and had removed herself from her family in order to make her own path, so he believed she might understand. Marco noted that Sidwell had not been convicted of any crimes. Marco also pointed out how many times Sonny and Jason Morgan had gotten off the hook. Although Marco questioned if Alexis would withdraw the job offer, she needed to speak with Diane Miller first, and made a prediction about conducting a comprehensive background investigation. Felicia Scorpio informed Carly Spencer of Max Scorpio's concerns about the referendum, and how it would affect Laura. Felicia proposed that Carly assist get Sonny on board with the voters' decision, but Carly was hesitant to get involved because she thought Sonny would not accept loss. Lucas then arrived and updated Carly about Jason's apparent threat to Marco earlier. Carly learned that Sidwell was Marco's father, and felt it was the explanation for Jason's conduct. Although Lucas originally acted as if the Sidwell shocker had ended the prospect of a romance with Marco, he eventually wanted more time to think things over. General Hospital spoilers reveal. A preview clip has been posted for Friday, April 18, 2025. It depicts Emma Scorpio Drake approaching Jocelyn Jacks. Jordan Ashford meets with Jen Sidwell. Meanwhile, Jason Morgan busts Sasha Gilmore Corbin. Maxie Jones warning. In the following episode, Maxie Jones speaks with Brooke Lynn Quartermain at Deception. BLQ becomes worried as Maxie informs someone on the phone that nothing is certain. The phone call could be about a mineral deal with Sidwell, as the girls at Deception are working on one. Sasha Gilmore Corbin busted. Sasha and Olivia Quartermain will speak briefly at the Quartermain estate. Olivia informs the cook that she is well on her way to becoming a real Quartermain. However, Jason will also confront Sasha. When Jason learns that Sasha stole money from Sidwell, he may face significant problems. Jason may caution Sasha that this could backfire, especially with someone like Sidwell tugging the strings. However, Sasha will most likely explain that she is doing what is necessary for her baby's future. Sasha is also quite independent and will not enjoy Jason instructing her what to do. General Hospital teasers indicate that Jordan will meet with her possible boss and target. Jordan created a trap and it appears that Sidwell is eating it all up. Jordan, on the other hand, maintains a calm demeanor and appears just mildly interested in the post. Jordan also asks the villain what she needs to do for him. Of course, the villain will make it look like a legitimate job. However, this is perilous and Jordan may end up in a bad scenario. Friday, April 18, 2025. Fans will also witness Anna Devane reconnect with Felicia Scorpio. Carly Spencer pushes Sonny Corinthos to move out of Mayor Laura Collins' way. Emma is enraged when she confronts Joss at the university. Emma is unaware that Joss is on a mission for the WSB. Emma knows that Joss is up to something. However, in the preview clip, Jocelyn informs Emma that she is exaggerating the situation. Of fact, Emma may eventually thank Joss because Professor Henry Dalton appears to be a true weirdo. General Hospital spoilers suggest that Drew Kane may not be Drew at all, but Shiloh alias David Henry Archer, disguised as Drew or Shrew. You may recall that Shiloh and Nellie Benson were married, and she became his widow. Shiloh would want Wiley because he lost a child to Willow Tate Corinthos. Nellie is currently assumed dead following a confrontation with Carly Spencer, with Harrison Chase identifying her body off camera. But what if the dead body wasn't actually Nellie? Is it feasible that Nellie is still alive and working with Shrew as a partner? Shrew is interested in taking custody of Wiley and Amelia Corinthos. There have been numerous indications that Drew is impersonating Shiloh, and Shrew just had Willow sign custody of Wiley and Amelia over to him if something happened to her. Shiloh would want to do this because he feels entitled to Wiley after losing his own son to Willow. He would be interested in capturing Amelia as retribution, as well as establishing a new Dawn of Day generation with the two children and Scout Kane, Sam McCall's daughter, who attempted to stop him and shut down Dawn of Day. Nellie Benson is still alive, and she wants Wiley Corinthos back. It makes plausible that Nellie is Shrew's partner, given that she was his wife at the time of his death and would undoubtedly want her kid, Wiley, back. If Nellie is still alive, she could be plotting against her twin sister, Willow, to obtain Wiley. Nellie, like Shiloh, would not hesitate to kill Willow in order to obtain her desired outcome. So it's quite likely that they're plotting to kill Wiley in order to win custody of the children. Shrew is exposed and revealed. Nellie Benson, Willow, Drew's partner, eventually realizes that Drew is actually Shiloh disguised as Drew. As she began to put the pieces together, she realized that Shrew was attempting to kill her. He could be gradually poisoning her, or he could simply go after her one night. Willow would be startled to learn that the guy she loves is Shiloh, but Shiloh has one more surprise for her before killing her. He discloses that her sister, Nellie, has collaborated with him, and that they would raise Wiley and Amelia together, with no input from her or Michael. Willow is stunned to see Nellie living again. Willow would appeal to her as a twin, but Nellie does not care. She wants Wiley, and that is that. Frustrating would be an appropriate word to characterize this week on General Hospital, with some fans stating that they had to turn off a specific episode because it was too much. Sidwell and Natalia's connection is pretty much out of the bag. Sonny is in danger and has no idea, and will most likely see Lulu again. Let us explore what happened in Port Charles. Will the real Drew Quartermain please stand up? In last week's column, I discussed a fan belief that Drew is not Drew. With his complete 180 as a character and Portia delving through his medical records, fans feel the doctor will discover he is a fake. But how and who might he be? The popular idea is that Drew was exchanged following the shower attack in Pentonville. Indeed, from then on, everyone noticed that Drew had changed. He'd been angry and bitter. But who wants to switch Drews? Cyrus is no longer present, therefore there is no reason to raise his ghost, and Sidwell was not even on the map at the time. There may be a relation to Professor Dalton, whom the WSB is interested in. In Friday's episode, Dalton entered a secure lab inside the hospital. It would be a way to save Drew's character, whom I previously felt had reached the point of no return with the Quartermain crypt farce. Also, would the real Drew disrupt his father and grandparents' ultimate resting place? Will he really turn on Monica, the person who brought him into the family? If Drew is not Drew, where is the genuine Drew, and who is the imposter? If Drew is indeed dead, it would clear the way for Scout to be extradited from under him, as Alexis has recently expressed her concerns about her granddaughter and Drew's actions toward her. Scout has always been second to the women in Drew's life. First Carly, then Willow and her children. If this isn't Drew, let's hope Willow is on birth control. Even if it is Drew, she should be on birth control. Whether he is the actual Drew, viewers agree that this political narrative is terrible. Many of us are already tired of political squabbles and crooked politicians in real life. Therefore, we don't want to see it on our soap. Readers noted on Wednesday's recap that they had to turn off the program because Ezra was too much to handle. Drew is preparing to take control of Port Charles by demolishing Sonny's peers and attempting to elect Ezra mayor. That puts us back to the assumption that he isn't Drew, who from Port Charles's past may want to rule the city. Other storyline ponderings. Alexis' refusal to commit Christina and pay off Ava will not go well for anyone. She has already lost her law license once. Is she willing to be disbarred permanently? Carly, Felicia, and others have pointed out that Sonny losing his peers would be a simple way for him to leave the mob, but he is apprehensive. Yet, only a few months ago, Sonny was working on an exit strategy for himself and Jason. Have we forgotten that, writers? Natalia's appearance on everyone's bad list could not have happened to a more worthy person, but she now has just Sidwell on her side. That is not a good situation. Her violation of Sonny's trust and informing her ex that the Dawn requires open heart surgery is awful news for him. He'd better have Jason and all of his best guys patrolling the ore, but I have a feeling Jens will get to the doctor somehow. We finally met Professor Henry Dalton, a renowned environmental physicist. Given that Emma, not Joss, appears to be on course to become his research assistant, I believe Emma will eventually be recruited into the WSB by Joss, Vaughn, and Brennan. We understand it, General Hospital. You're putting Molly and Cody together. However, Cody riding to Molly's rescue on a horse when she had a flat tire did not appeal to me. This is Molly we're talking about. Molly is an ultra-super feminist. The expression on Lulu's face when Gio said at Dante's birthday celebration that he was born in Los Angeles told it all. Her pledge not to tell Dante about his son, and to drop everything suddenly went out the window. Finally, when Portia informed Kai that the surgery he wants is not only dangerous but unlikely to be effective, who doesn't believe the jock will be paralyzed or somehow damaged by the procedure? Also, does anybody care? That concludes this week's piece. As always, these are just my thoughts and opinions. Leave yours in the comments. Sonny's sacrifice stranded. Molly's hero and Joe's clue for Lulu. The sun hung low over the horizon, casting long shadows across the deserted beach where Sonny Corinthos found himself stranded. The crash had been sudden, a violent lurch, the deafening roar of metal tearing apart, and then silence. Now, as the waves lapped at the shore, Sonny struggled to make sense of his surroundings. His head throbbed, his vision blurred, but one thought cut through the haze. He had to survive. Not just for himself but for those waiting for him back home. Sonny had always been a man of action, a leader who thrived in chaos. But this was different. This wasn't a battle against rival factions or a high-stakes negotiation. This was nature, indifferent and unrelenting. He had no weapons, no allies, just the clothes on his back and the determination in his heart. As he scanned the shoreline, he noticed debris scattered along the sand, remnants of the plane that had carried him here. If he could salvage supplies, he might stand a chance. Meanwhile, miles away in Port Charles, panic was setting in. The news of Sonny's disappearance had spread like wildfire, and the people who loved him were grappling with fear. Carly, his ex-wife and longtime confidant, refused to believe the worst. She had seen Sonny defy death before, and she clung to the hope that he would do it again. Jason, his loyal friend and partner, was already mobilizing resources, determined to leave no stone unturned in the search. But it was Michael, Sonny's son, who felt the weight of the situation most acutely. The years of conflict between them had given way to a fragile reconciliation, and the thought of losing his father now was unbearable. Back on the island, Sonny's survival instincts kicked in. He fashioned a crude shelter from fallen branches and torn pieces of the wreckage. Freshwater was his next priority. Without it, he wouldn't last long. He remembered snippets of survival training from years ago, lessons he had never imagined he'd need. As he ventured inland, the dense foliage seemed to close in around him, the air thick with humidity. Every rustle of leaves set his nerves on edge, but he pressed on. Days blurred together. Hunger gnawed at him, and exhaustion threatened to pull him under. But just as despair began to creep in, he stumbled upon a small stream. The water was clear and cool, a lifeline in the wilderness. He drank greedily, then cupped his hands to splash his face, the shock of the cold bringing him back to himself. He wasn't done fighting yet. Back in Port Charles, Molly Lansing Davis was grappling with her own crisis. A young lawyer with a fierce sense of justice, she had taken on a case that had put her in the crosshairs of dangerous people. When threats turned into action, she found herself cornered in an alley, her phone smashed, her escape cut off. Just as all seemed lost, a familiar figure stepped out of the shadows. T.J. Ashford, her childhood friend and the man she had secretly loved for years. T.J. had always been Molly's protector, even when she insisted she didn't need one. This time, however, the danger was real. With quick thinking and a well-placed strike, he disarmed her attacker, pulling her to safety. As they caught their breath in the dim glow of a streetlight, Molly looked at TJ with new eyes. This wasn't just a childhood crush. This was love, deep and undeniable. But before she could put her feelings into words, TJ pressed a finger to her lips. "We'll talk later," he murmured. "Right now we need to move." Their escape was fraught with tension, every shadow a potential threat. But with TJ by her side, Molly felt a strange sense of calm. They navigated the backstreets of Port Charles, avoiding main roads where their pursuers might be waiting. When they finally reached safety, a secluded safe house owned by a friend of Sonny's, Molly turned to TJ, her voice trembling. "Why did you come for me?" TJ's answer was simple. "Because I couldn't let anything happen to you. Not when I—" He trailed off, but the unspoken words hung between them. Molly reached for his hand, and in that moment, they both knew things would never be the same. Meanwhile, Gio Palmieri, a newcomer to Port Charles with a mysterious past, had been quietly observing the chaos unfolding around him. He had his own reasons for being in town, reasons tied to a secret he had carried for years. When he overheard a cryptic conversation about Lulu Spencer's whereabouts, his instincts told him this was the break he'd been waiting for. Lulu had been missing for months, presumed dead after an explosion at the floating rib. But Gio had never believed that. His investigation had led him down dark alleys and dead ends, but now he had a lead. The clue was small, a faded photograph of a remote cabin, a place not marked on any map. But Gio had learned to trust his gut, and his gut told him Lulu was there. The problem was getting to her. The cabin was deep in the woods, guarded by men who didn't ask questions. Gio knew he couldn't do this alone. He needed help, and there was only one person he could think of. Dante Falconeri, Lulu's ex-husband and the man who had never stopped searching for her. Dante was skeptical at first. He had been burned by false leads before, and Joe's vagueness didn't inspire confidence. But something in Joe's eyes, a desperation, a sincerity, made Dante pause. "If you're lying to me," Dante warned, "there won't be a place in this world where you can hide." Gio nodded. "I'm not lying. But we need to move fast." Under the cover of night, they set out, armed with little more than determination. The journey was treacherous, the woods alive with unseen dangers. But as they neared the cabin, Dante's heart pounded with a mix of hope and fear. Was Lulu really inside? And if she was, what condition would she be in? The answer came sooner than expected. A faint light flickered in the cabin's window, and the sound of a woman's voice, weak but unmistakably Lulu's, sent a jolt through Dante. Without hesitation, he moved forward, Joe close behind. What they found inside would change everything. Lulu was alive, but barely. Pale and thin, her spirit seemed broken. Yet when she saw Dante, a spark of recognition lit her eyes. "You came," she whispered. Dante knelt beside her, his voice thick with emotion. "Always." As Gio watched the reunion, he knew his role in this story wasn't over. There were still questions unanswered, secrets buried deep. But for now, seeing Lulu safe was enough. Back on the island, Sonny's ordeal continued. He had survived this long through sheer willpower, but rescue still felt like a distant dream. Then one morning as he scanned the horizon he saw it. A ship small but unmistakable. Summoning the last of his strength, he built a signal fire, the smoke curling into the sky like a prayer. As the ship drew nearer, Sonny allowed himself to hope. He didn't know what waited for him back home. More battles, more heartache, but he knew one thing for certain. He wasn't ready to give up. Not yet. And so, as the sun rose on a new day, Sonny Corinthos stood on the shore, a survivor once again. According to General Hospital spoilers on Friday, April 18th, Jason Morgan will be enraged by Sasha Gilmore Corbin's betrayal to Jen Sidwell, while Carly Spencer has a harsh message for Sonny Corinthos. Brooke Lynn Quartermain will appear nervous at deception when Maxie Jones calls and says that nothing is certain. Will Sidwell's deal with deception already be jeopardized? Next, Olivia Quartermain will tell Sasha that she is on her way to becoming a true Quartermain, but some drama is going to break out as a result of Jason's revelation. After Jason receives details on Sasha's $250,000 agreement, he will confront her and want to know why she sold out to Sidwell. It will leave Sasha with some explaining to do, as well as an opportunity for Jason to express his heated worries. While Anna Devane and Felicia Scorpio catch up, Jordan Ashford will be meeting with Sidwell. When Jordan asks what Sidwell expects her to do for him, he will explain his plans following her retirement as deputy mayor. Now that Jordan has distanced herself from Laura Collins, Sidwell will anticipate that this is the start of a lovely partnership. Since Sidwell earlier pressed Jordan to become his right-hand lady and lobbyist, he may reconsider that offer and include some other obligations. Sonny will use Carly as a confidant and perhaps explain why Rocco Falconeri does not want him to attend his next debate. Rocco is concerned about making things worse for Laura if she is seen with his grandfather, which Sonny understands, though he despises the scenario this is causing for his grandson. Carly may argue that Rocco has valid worries and push Sonny to accept the Esplanade referendum vote, regardless of the outcome. If Sonny truly wants to help Laura, Carly would advise him to get out of her path. Jocelyn Jacks will try to persuade Emma Scorpio Drake that something has been blown out of control. Emma and Jocelyn will both end up at JICH, and Emma will not be pleased with Joss. It appears that Jocelyn's attempt to capture Professor Henry Dalton's attention will cause some problems with Emma, so keep an eye out for any troubles that arise. Soaps.com has the most recent General Hospital spoilers from Monday, April 21st, through Friday, April 25th. Carly takes betrayal to a new level when she unexpectedly abandons someone. Rick receives a warning, and something is wrong with Cody. And who should be concerned when Nina decides to quit playing by the rules? Continue reading below to learn more. Carly is downright insistent. At the end of the day, who of all people is going to tell her no? Who will hear Sasha's confession? Marco needs to explain something, and Lucas appears to be willing to listen. Is Jordan and Isaiah's decision related to any other recent changes in her life? Sidwell makes a visit to Alexis. Could he be pleading his son Marco's case? General Hospital spoilers for Tuesday, April 22nd. Trina has a lot on her mind, so she's thankful she has Curtis to confide in. Oh dang. Carly is about to stab an ally in the back. Kai talks to Drew about his decision to undergo dangerous surgery. Is there anyone who doesn't believe this surgery will be disastrous for Kai? Lucky will confront Christina, regardless of her willingness to listen. Will Jason help Willow or be driven by his long-standing commitment to Michael? General Hospital spoilers for Wednesday, April 23rd. It's difficult to witness what's going on between Carly and Jason, who are once again at odds today. Tracy extends an offer. Dante and Lulu sat down to discuss issues concerning their extended family. Rather than sitting back, Laura stands forward to protect herself. Drew's reply catches Willow completely off guard. General Hospital spoilers for Thursday, April 24th. Sonny is preparing for life-saving surgery after delaying it for as long as possible. What's got Brooke Lynn so concerned? Danny hasn't moved on from his mother's untimely death, as evidenced by his opening up to Jason about Samantha. Molly draws a line in the sand with her father. Cody needs medical attention. General Hospital spoilers for Friday, April 25th. Carly is informed about Sonny's prognosis. Watch out, world. Nina is ready to play nasty. Brooke Lynn and Lulu are set to collide severely. Christina receives a huge shock. Something is about to get in Willow's way. General Hospital spoilers and updates suggest that 4 disastrous decisions could have serious consequences. Certain mistakes are certain to result in severe regrets. Therefore, let's talk about some terrible decisions and Port Charles locals who will come to wish they had thought again. Sonny's scary consequences of his surgery delay. Sonny Corinthos has postponed his heart surgery, while he investigates the person responsible for the penthouse explosion. The longer he delays the procedure, the greater his risk of suffering a catastrophic cardiac episode from which he may not recover. There is a potential he will fall again under even more extreme conditions. Taking a few pills may not be effective the following time, resulting in an emergency condition requiring rapid surgery. His family and friends may be concerned about his survival. Sonny's surgery may cause his territory to be targeted. Sonny's procrastination may force him to do things in unexpected ways. He may need to have the operation in Port Charles sooner than expected, rather than at the out-of-town clinic he had initially planned. Although Sonny is anticipated to recover, his adversaries will be aware of his significant heart ailment, and may use this weakness to weaken his authority over his region. This situation may unwittingly threaten his family and friends. Willow's signature makes Drew her children's legal guardian. Then there's Willow Corinthos' terrible decision to sign documents designating Drew Kane as her children's legal guardian in the event of her death. Drew is not to be trusted, and Willow should have spent more time understanding what she was consenting to. Drew may have misled Willow by including some hidden, disturbing conditions in that agreement. Even without it, what Willow appears to have signed raises concerns. Drew's latest activities appear unlikely to hold up in court, especially since Michael Corinthos retains parental rights. There may be an out. According to Jack Brennan, Drew may have overstepped and made a mistake that benefited Carly Spencer. These guardian paperwork could cause problems and imperil Willow's custody, making her regret her trust in Drew. Carly may have to go through the difficult and heartbreaking process of establishing Willow's unfit motherhood in order to gain custody of her grandkids herself. Of all, even if Nina agrees to the desperate step, it could jeopardize Carly and Nina Reeves' fragile peace. Kai's experimental procedure goes wrong. Kai Taylor is making a mistake by ignoring Portia Robinson's advice and the warning indicators that Trina Robinson is detecting. He believes he knows better, but if this advanced operation goes wrong, he may come to regret not listening to her. Kai's confidence in his chances of success decreases the likelihood that he will return to the football field. According to GH spoilers, Kai's surgery may fail, resulting in tremendous disappointment or perhaps paralysis, depending on how the situation plays out. Portia discovered that individuals perished as a result of the experimental method.